What if Deku had Jiren's powers? Part 3. I really hope you guys do like the new thumbnail style. I'm trying out a new style of thumbnail because I thought, it's been almost 4 months since I've done anything to the thumbnail. So I'm like, why not change it? So there we are. Last time on What If Deku had Jiren's powers, he just trained all the way up until the UA Sports Festival, and that's where we are now. Deku walks out onto the field with all the girls talking, and everybody's just talking. You can hear cheers in the background, like everyone's wondering what's going to happen. Once they walk out, they see Midnight, the R-rated hero. They start asking themselves, is that really necessary? Or is that really what you should be doing in front of a bunch of first-year high school kids, as they just got out of middle school? So, Midnight announces that the first challenge will be a race. Deku smirks as he already knows that he's won. He is clearly faster than almost everybody here. He is clearly faster. So, when everybody starts lining up, and as soon as President Mike yells go, Deku tries to move, but he sees that there's ice blocking his feet. So he just bends down and flicks the ice, just cracking it. Like the whole ice, you could see cracks going through it, and then it shatters. As his Deku broke all that ice with a tiny flick. As he launches himself forward, breaking the ground beneath him, as he's flying very low to the ground. I'd say maybe 2 feet above the ground, probably. So Deku keeps this up until he gets to the 3 0-pointers. He again smirks as he just says too easy, creating a key ball as he sends it flying at the middle one, cutting it in half as the other 2 halves split up with cranking of metal and the burning sound of wires, as it lights into a massive tornado of fire, as it just splits open and the 2 sides fall onto the other 2 robots. As Deku just smirks as he's like, that was easy. Can't believe I'm even here. As he keeps running. Now, once he gets to the 2nd place, which he's already in first, President Mike announces, and in first place, Izuku Midoriya has reached the cliff fall. If you fall down, you will be eliminated, and you won't be able to finish the race. As Deku just starts hopping from rock to rock instead of climbing on the ropes. Now, remember, Deku has ki. He can fly, but he doesn't want to make it too easy for himself, because he knows that if he makes it too easy for himself, it's not going to be fun. Like, would you want to do something that you know you were going to win, but not have fun? He wants to have fun. So, Deku keeps on jumping and gets to the other side. Once he gets there, President Mike once again announces that Izuku Midoriya has made it to the other side very enthusiastically. Now, once he's there, Deku just says under his breath, a minefield, as he just starts walking over, just getting blasted by the mines, but he's not even moving. Like, he can step on a mine, and a massive torrent of wind will blow up from him, and dust will scatter everywhere. But he'll just keep his foot there. He won't move. He'll keep on walking. The mines aren't affecting him. So he gets to the other side and walks through, saying, as President Mike announces, that Deku has come in first place. Now, if you're asking, where are Todoroki and Bakugo, as they were the two fastest in the anime? Now, these Todoroki and Bakugo are back at the start of the minefield. Deku may have walked through the minefield, but he did the other challenges with very, very quickly. Since he did them so quickly, the other people didn't have time to catch up. That's why he was in first. So Deku ends up winning. Everybody lines up again as Midnight announces, and the second event will be a cavalry battle. First place will have 10 million points. Second place will have 1,000 points, and so on. As everyone just looks at Deku like he's the last piece of bread in a supermarket while there's a hurricane going on, or a TV on Black Friday. They all decide to make teams while Deku is just there alone. As soon as President Mike yells go and they all start charging at him, Deku just says, "You fools, you have fallen into my trap." As he jumps up high, and then he creates two massive ki blasts as he starts spinning them. If you guys know Dragon Ball Super, you probably know this move. He starts spinning them and puts his hands together and just says, "Ha!" sending a massive ki blast right down at all the people. It's not powerful enough to kill anybody, but it will surely hurt somebody. So everybody gets hit with this, most of them being knocked out. Only two were able to survive, sitting on the piles of their teammates, which is Todoroki and Bakugo. Izuku lands. He's like, "So I see you have survived. So I guess I'll have to defeat you normally." As Todoroki and Bakugo both try and rush him, but don't forget they're heavily injured. They are nowhere near their top performance, as they both try and rush Deku, only for both of them to fall just short, let's say halfway across the stadium towards Deku, and they end up falling unconscious, as nobody could probably have lasted long after being hit with one of Deku's ki blasts. Deku just doesn't say anything as he goes around and picks up all the team's headbands, and he walks up to Midnight and slams them down as he says, "I win," and walks away. All of the crowd are just dumbfounded until people start clapping, and everyone just starts clapping and cheering. They're like, "Yeah!" I don't know what was going on, but yeah! There are a bunch of crowd. It's a crowd who like watching something happen, and something happened. They saw a massive light show. Very interesting, pretty much. So Deku keeps on walking and gets back into the stands as he hears Midnight yell, "Okay, the three teams that still were standing after that attack are going to the next round." And I forgot to mention Shinso's team. He ended up standing, but ended up falling unconscious after. No, Shinso was able to keep himself. Like he said, "Okay, team, block me from the attack," as they blocked the attack for him. So, I mean, he didn't come out unscathed, but he was in better condition than everybody else. So, after that, Midnight announces, "Okay, the next and final event will be a one-on-one battle. One-on-one tournament. The rules are if you step out or get knocked out, you lose. It's a tournament style, and the first match is Shinso and Izuku Midoriya." As Deku steps up onto the stadium, and so does Shinso. With a flash of Midnight's whip, it starts as Deku, or as Shinso says, "It must be nice having a quirk. So powerful. I saw it during the cavalry battle. Must be nice being in the hero course." As Deku starts walking towards him, as he's like, "Do you know what it feels to be abandoned by your mother at the age of 4 because you were quirkless? Do you know what it feels to have to live in the forest for 10 years, always wondering if you'll have enough food to survive? Do you know what it feels to be in complete isolation all of your childhood, not having toys to play with, but rather spears to hunt with?" As Deku keeps walking, as Shinso is just dumbfounded by this, and he's like, "Wait, I could use my quirk." But it's already too late, as Deku picks him up by the head and just flicks him, which knocks him out as he's sent barreling into a wall, making a human-sized crater into it as he slowly peels off of it and just falls down on the ground with tiny dust particles popping up from it. Deku walks over and picks him up and he says, "A brainwashing quirk, correct? You should have trained it. I'm quirkless and I've trained forever. You should know that being sorry for yourself isn't going to get you anywhere." As Deku keeps walking. Now, after this, everyone's just dumbfounded by how complex Deku's backstory is. He just said he was abandoned by his mother at the age of 4. He's quirkless. He lived in the woods for 10 years. He was completely isolated. He had to hunt for food. Somewhere else, a skinny green-haired woman watching the sports festival sees Izuku Midoriya. Feel like I know that name. Wait a minute, it's that brat. How can a quirkless kid like him be so strong? As she stands up and starts running to UA. She wants answers. Deku is now up against Todoroki. Midnight once again flashes her whip, signaling the start of the battle. Todoroki says, "I am stronger than you with only my mother's quirk. I will beat you." As he sends a massive glacier of ice right at Deku. Deku flicks the ice, breaking it, as Todoroki sends another one, which gets backhanded by Deku. Another one gets slapped by Deku. Another one gets kneed by Deku. Deku keeps making progress on Todoroki until Todoroki's back is against the ice wall that he made to secure him from falling out of balance. Deku walks up to him, crunching down on the broken particles of ice, as he's like, "You will never beat me with half your power. You do realize that it's your quirk and not your father's. We both have had a rough childhood, but mine is clearly worse. So I suggest you stop talking about beating me and more about getting past your own daddy issues. As Deku grabs his neck and slams his head down into the dirt, knocking Todoroki out. Now, the next battle, all the battles go on, and then it's finally Deku versus Bakugo. Bakugo's like, can't believe a quirkless kid like you got into UA. It's time to put you in your place. So Deku, as soon as Midnight yells, go, Bakugo runs at him, only for him to get stopped by a fingertip to his forehead, with Deku saying, I hate kids like you. Always so indulged in themselves that they believe they are the best. But you clearly can't see past your own ego. That's why you've lost. As he flicks him into the head as he goes flying off away into the stars with a little like ding up in the sky like a little flash. So everyone's just like, what the heck? As Deku instant transmissions up to him, grabs him by the neck, and puts an unconscious Bakugo in the recovery girl's room. After that, they do the medal ceremony, and everybody gets, Deku, Bakugo, who had to be tied up, and Tokiyami all get their medals. Deku in first, Bakugo in second, and Tokiyami in third. Now, after this, Deku's walking back to his house, only to hear somebody yell, wait! Deku turns around to see his mother. He says, who are you? She's like, don't you remember me? I'm your mother. How can you forget your mother? And he's like, oh, so you're the woman who abandoned me because I'm corkless. What do you want? She's like, I want to give you a home, please. As Deku just laughs and he's like, you give me a home? Please. You couldn't even support me. I've lived in the wild for 10 years, so I suggest you go back to your home. You just want me because you've seen how powerful I am. Now go away, Inko. As Deku walks away. I hope you guys did enjoy What If Deku Had Jiren's Powers Part 3. And I hope you guys did enjoy or like my new thumbnail. See you guys. Bye.